So, Joe Rogan meets Wes Huff. I cannot wait for that one to come out. I cannot wait for that to be available to people when it's available. But in the meantime, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the interaction because this has a lot to do with the geopolitical movement and the apex human awakening. Christianity is not for Christians anymore. It never was. Um, it was always for people of another name. You know, the idea of Christ is the apex of human experience and expression because Christ is the interface between God and man. And so, this conversation between the unapologetic Joe Rogan and the unapologetic Wes Huff, who is a biblical scholar who has lots and lots of credentials. I've just followed him a little bit. I mean, I think I would say within the last year. I think probably was following him before I met Billy Carson, but before I became familiar with Billy Carson, I never met Billy Carson in person. Just to clarify that, because in the future, it's like, well, you said you met Billy Carson. All right, let me clarify it. Sometimes I say things that, in my mind, they make sense, but they don't always come out clear. So I got to make sure it's good. But anyway, Wes Huff is going to be on Joe Rogan's podcast. This is huge, huge for the faith world. As big as Obama being interviewed by Oprah and being included in her kind of thing that led to his 2008 victory as a president, the same way that having Donald Trump on Joe Rogan changed everything for Donald Trump. It put him in presidency, which I'm very, very excited about. This is going to put Christianity on the map, and it's actually going to call Christianity into question. And I am excited about it because Wes Huff is a true scholar of the Bible. Let me do this because hopefully this gives you better. Let me go down with the sound. Hello, testing, testing. Oh my. I'm gonna try not to be too loud here. I'm gonna put this over here. Yeah, I'm gonna put this right here because the sound was too bad. It was not good on the last one, so I'll just hold it like this. Anyway, so let's get right into the discussion, guys. If you're in the chat or if you're joining, drop a like. Let me know what you think. This is a huge crossover, and if you're into Wes Huff or you're into Joe Rogan, this could change the global conversation on faith, spirituality, all of that. And when I mean faith, I'm talking about the Christian faith, the most important faith on the planet at this time. Um, and that's why this is huge. So, in this video, I'm going to be giving a breakdown of why the Wes Huff Joe Rogan interaction could change reality. We are very, very close to the singularity. And they might have pushed it out 10 years. I think they're whispering that it's closer to somewhere between 5 and 10 years. It could be between 3 and 5 years. We are very close to a huge shift in the human story. So, and when I say singularity, I mean like what they mean with all the quantum fusion and all other stuff supposed to happen. I think that's very, very, we're on the heels of that. But anyway, my name is Dr. Merlin Sy, Apex Human Awakening from a geopolitical Christian lens, offering a bold, faith centered, no fluff, no malarkey approach to Christianity. Christianity has been in the hands of the superstitious mob, and God is helping me to be much more compassionate about how I talk about it. Even though I'm very cautious about compassion too, we need to be evidence-based compassionate. But that's again a video for another day. But there's a huge shift happening right now in Christianity, and I'm always like 10 to 15 years ahead of the curve, but I'm trying to slow myself down mentally so I can catch up with humanity, meaning fall back a bit. And so, pardon me if some of the things I'm saying are like way over there, so far left field that they just don't make sense. Please do the best to stay with me or help me to clarify. Like if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense to you, you're like, this guy's full of shit, but it seems like he's going somewhere with it. Let me know, and I'll talk. I'll find a better way to communicate it. Otherwise, if you're one of those, this guy's the deceiver, he's the devil, go somewhere else. All right. So anyway, Wes Huff. So like, share, subscribe, comment below. I'm following my notes this time. I think I'm going to do better and better each time. Listen, Wes Huff is a raw, truth-centered Christian. He has a voice that challenges mainstream narratives, but that's just because he's a Christian that believes in Christ. He had evidence of a real Jesus Christ, and he has evidence of a functioning and solid Bible. And so that's good to know. Let me fix my camera real quick. All right. Yeah, now you're seeing my pants that I got for Christmas. These pants are awesome. Just changing the battery. I'm not going to make sure the phone is charged here. All right, phone is charging because it's my video here. So anyway, let's get back to it. Wes Huff is exceptional. He is a solid scholar, but he's not without reproach. I mean, there are other biblical scholars that are challenging him and challenging some of the things that he's saying, because I think those who are challenging him are not necessarily religious Christians. I'll have to look at their credentials and find out. But I know he's not without challenge from other scholars, okay? So that's, in the world of biblical scholarship, I am not a biblical scholar by any stretch of the imagination. I am just in love with the Bible. It's my favorite compilation ever. My favorite book, one that you need to get, is Hey God, Wake the Fuck Up, because this will change your life. This is the game-changing thing that Wes Huff and Joe Rogan is leading to. So if you want to get ahead of the curve, get this book. If you want to stay behind with all the other knuckleheads that are going to be wiped out, then don't buy the book. It's up to you. You're free to make your own decision. So Joe Rogan is the biggest cultural platform globally. He receives billions of views, billions and billions and billions. Tell me who that is. Drop it in the comment section below. All right. This episode I'm talking about, that's going to have Wes Huff and all, is going to bring faith to a huge platform, and it's Christian faith, not the woo that is out there in the world. And Joe Rogan's pointed it out. I mean, he's noticed that the United States has fallen into depravity, and it has fallen into apostasy, and United States is really on a pathway to hell. You know, really, it is, especially during the 2020, all the overly stimulated victim splaining and virtue signaling and all of that stuff. It was hell. But we are going into a golden age. I've predicted this. I am going to be right. So, like I said, my task right now is to get out to a larger audience. That's why I'm making this video. I would have made it anyway because I think this is really exciting. But this episode is going to bring faith to the mainstream and challenge listeners worldwide. It's going to call people to Christ in a different way. And when you get the message of Christ in as large of an audience as Joe Rogan has, like the message of Christ, like the real message of Christ, which I think Wes Huff is doing a decent job of presenting. I mean, he's a scholar. He's not coming from it with an ignorant, just a religious tone. He's coming from like he is an expert in dead languages, Hebrew, I think Aramaic, Greek, of course. And, you know, he has the ability to decipher these languages and understand them in their cultural context, which is exciting. Again, there are other biblical scholars who don't agree with everything he has to say and, you know, have called him into question. But at least we are moving the needle back right. We are bringing the conversation back. I am not one who believes in a literal flesh and blood Jesus. I want to. I visited his birth home. I actually walked the place where he was bathed as an infant, if he existed in flesh and blood. And I felt something profound. It moved me emotionally. And I was there by myself at 10 o'clock at night in Egypt. So Jesus is real. Jesus matters. But my question is he real, like a part of our consciousness or part of the psyche and built into the very structure of us as humans? Or is he, you know, is he a real flesh and blood man that actually existed and lived? So the only reason I'm talking with no one in the chats right now is that I'm going to be posting this later on. I think there's someone in there. I don't know. If you're in there, holler. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm learning this software, y'all. So if you're in there, holler. Just say hi and let me know what you think Joe Rogan and Wes Huff are going to talk about. So this is going to be really huge. But yeah, I felt something, and I think Jesus is so important, to the future of our species, and it's time for this to happen. Hey, Two Duels, what's up? What's up? I don't know if you follow. Thanks for joining, Two Duels. You're a soldier. There's got to be a way. I'm gonna find a way to like give you some sort of reward. I'll make a video for you. What topic specifically, Two Duels, would you like to hear about? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will dig into it, and I'll make a video specifically for you because you're a gangster. You're like so awesome, and I really appreciate you showing up. And you're great. I'm talking about WES HUFF right now, and I'm using a new software that's allowing me to um, it allowed me to like interface with YouTube and use my computer at the same time, and not just put it on my phone and not see everyone's comments. So, thank you so much, Two You are friggin' awesome. Y'all give some love to Two if you say, okay, anything, my brother. I'm interested in all times. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Sending you love and blessings. Today we're talking about Joe Rogan meets WES HUFF. WES HUFF obliterated Billy Carson, who's a ancient alien guy who said the Bible is bullshit and it's all just lies and toxic patriarchy. And again, I love Billy Carson, but that part of his rhetoric I do not care for at all. So he was ambushed by WES HUFF and obliterated because WES HUFF is a true biblical scholar. And so WES HUFF is really getting a lot of attention right now. And now he's on Joe Rogan. And he's going to kick the shit out of this. He's going to take Christianity to that next level. And the reason he's so important is because getting faith into the modern dialogue. I mean, Donald Trump, all of this is a part of that. It's like we're letting the world know that Christianity is not a backwards, stupid religion. It's a powerful, life-changing, world-shaping movement. And it's going to lead us into a golden age. I think the church has been the biggest impediment to Christianity. Christ was not a part of the church. Neither were all of the great minds and spiritual leaders and men of God that came before him. They were not a part of the church. They were always outside of the organized faith. So um, this meeting of WES HUFF and Joe Rogan is going to be pivotal, and I think it's going to put faith on the map in a new way. And I'm really, really hoping that it takes faith out of the hands of the fanatical, almost like bloodthirsty fanatical right that used to exist. And when I was a kid, those were the ones, burn gays at the stake type of people, and that's changed. Fortunately, it's changed. So that's not the rhetoric anymore. It's changed, but you still have that rhetoric in the Christian right, and with Donald Trump coming into power, they're going to have a lot more influence on the conversation. And I'm concerned that the fanatical uber right Christians are going to decide the way that Christianity looks for the next century. And so those of us who are outliers, those of us who are geopolitical Christians, who have a deep personal relationship with God that is not driven by church doctrine or dogma, but is driven by our relationship with God and our connection to his holy, important word, I think that we need to have a say. We need to be out there. We need our voices heard. And I think that WES HUFF is a big part of that conversation, even though he is a religious Christian. He's part of the Christian world. But Joe Rogan understands the value of Christianity to society. He has had, who's that, Jordan Peterson on the show. So there's some movement happening. So, yeah, it's really beautiful. So anyway, that's what we're talking about. So yeah, faith is getting on the global stage, and this thing is seismic. What's happening between Joe and Wes, and I'm really excited about it. So Wes speaks for the scholarly world, and it's really, really, yeah, all facts, bro, all facts to do. So this is beautiful, y'all. So just get ready. I mean, we're about, like I said, we're going into a golden age, and I think it's really important that we understand that the golden age doesn't happen if your life doesn't work. Like, look, if everybody's life is great, but you have cancer, that's not a golden age, okay, for you. You have to have an exceptional life, exceptional health, wealth, love life, family relationships, career. Your life has to be a testimony to the greatness of God, to the exceptional power that God has, to the value of Christ. And guess what? The United States is already that. The United States is the richest, most free, most liberated country on earth. And it's because of the freedom, it's because of the respect for individual liberty, it's because of the capitalism, it's because of our big hearted approach to humanity as United States Americans that we have won. That's why we're the greatest nation on earth, because of that message of Christ. It was not Muhammad's people that made the Islamic world was never big without Jesus. I mean, first of all, the Islamic world requires Jesus to exist. So they're part of the conversation. But, you know, the Christian world is, we are where everyone wants to be. We are the people that reflect the ideal. The ideal. So, hey, I'm able to read all my stuff. Okay, to-do rules. Do you personally think Kim Jong-un is heavenward? I believe every person is. I'll read it. Question from Two Duels is, do you personally think Kim Jong-un is heaven worthy? Yes, I think Hitler was heaven worthy. I think all of us are heaven worthy. The thing is, so I'm of the belief, and this is biblically based, that we all get redeemed. We are all redeemed at the end. We're all redeemed. God does not allow a single lamb to be like. That's where the analogy of Christ, in the 99 sheep. There's 100 sheep and one goes lost. He leaves the 99 who are found to go find that one which is lost. There are the 10 lepers that are healed and only one comes back to thank Jesus. I think that no matter how bad, you could have been Mangala, you could be the KKK, you could be, anybody. I think all of us are redeemed. So yes, I do believe that Kim Jong-un is heaven worthy. I don't think that our works, again, this goes back to geopolitical Christianity. We are not saved by works. We are saved by the grace, the blood of Christ. And that's an allegory. That's a metaphor for a geopolitical Christian. Now, for the religious Christians, that's apostasy. What I'm saying is complete blasphemy for them. But I do believe it, and I have biblical support for that. And also personal support. Christ redeems all of us. Christ redeems all of us. No one can. I mean, the worst of the worst person could show up, and Christ redeems us. So there are a lot of Christians that want hellfire. They want damnation, and these are the Christians that we have to purge from the church. I mean, they can stay in the church, but I'm saying we have to present a Christianity that is free from judgment, free from, oh, you're the deceiver, you're Satan, you're the devil. No, you don't get to say that. God is the one that decides that. We can say that, okay, this person, their lifestyle doesn't match what I need in my life, and guess what? You just don't deal with those people. But to judge them is to go against what Christ said. He said, don't judge people. You're going to judge person, the very judgment you put on others is a judgment that's going to come to you. So don't judge people. And Christianity has learned what it's like to judge people. The church was judging the LGBTQAI community, and guess who got the political power for the last 15, 20 years? The LGBTQAI. Look what happened. It was not pretty. So when Christians were drinking the poison that they were putting out in the world, they didn't really like it. They were crying like little babies and say, "Oh Lord!" And guess what? Guess what happened? Sorry. Guess what happened? They were forced to go back to Jesus, which was good because, I was a part of the whole rainbow flag people stuff, right? And I was in that world and, promoting those ideologies. And because I genuinely believed that was okay. And of course, that was during my Luciferian years and almost becoming a Satanist. But I realized that my life wasn't exceptional during that time. I wasn't living my highest. I did not feel great about life. And as a result, it was a process, but I won't tell you all the details, maybe, in some off YouTube thing. It's in my book, okay? It's in the book, the most important book. Hey, God, wake the fuck up. But there were things that led me back, and I'm telling you, I was deep in, and part of that might be I'm not going to go into details, but what I will say is that Christ matters. Christ really matters, not the way Christ was being presented by the church as this beat up little guy that's poor and broke, a loser who told you be nice to people because if you're not nice to people, then it's not nice to be nice to people. No, Jesus was a gangster. He was a real person, a powerful voice in his society. He was not just a carpenter. He was from the line of David. He was the equivalent of a Trump or a Kennedy or a Vanderbilt in the United States. Like, he did not come from the low class as we are taught by the church, because the church wants you to be broke and a loser and always be okay with not having a good life. Um, Jesus came from the upper echelon, and people don't want to admit that. The line of David, that was like the caste system, you know. So, meaning that was like, I don't know, Brahmins or something in the Indian caste system, right? It was a higher level group of people. So Jesus was exceptional, and he matters, and he really encouraged us to follow the path that God put us on, because that's where you find joy and peace and all that other wonderful stuff. And so Wes Huff getting on Joe Rogan is going to put a magnifying lens on Christianity. It's going to allow those of us who are outlier Christians to come back in and have our voices heard. I mean, I have a very small, you know what? I have a very big thing going here. I mean, I have like a very large following. It's just not visible on YouTube. I have millions of people that listen, but what's happening is for a long time the church was like silencing us, and we're talking. Jesus will always listen. Yes, he will. Thank you, Two Duels. Thank you, Two Duels. So yeah, Jesus is always there. The thing is, though, our voices are being heard. Now imagine being a Christian and being able to honor your relationship with God, your relationship with Christ every day in the world, and live as a Christian and not have to hide from the church that you're perhaps gay or something, or hide from the church that you're rich, or hide from the church that you, I don't know, do ayahuasca or something. Like, and I'm not saying, I mean, again, these things are individual things. Like, I don't think you should do them or shouldn't do them. I just think that God has a path for you that is harmonious. That's the whole point of Jesus. That's not driven by guilt, fear, shame, self-criticism, tearing yourself down, going to Jesus and going, oh Lord, please forgive me for being a piece of shit, Jesus. No, it's not that. Jesus and God, the experience of Christ and all that, is about living your best life now and your life being a testimony to the glory of God. The glory of God is not self-sacrifice or abstinence or superstition. It's none of that in my experience. And again, I'm an outlier. I'm not your typical Christian, but I believe in Christ in the sense of like a real Christ, a Christ that when you're in a foxhole will deliver you, not a Christ that you're going to pray to for your whole life and never see the fulfillment of your prayer, and you're just going to have faith. Like faith with no works? What? The Bible's so against that. Don't have faith and your shit's not working. Maybe you need to change your approach. I mean, I've had to change my approach a million times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Whatever. But I'm willing to change my approach and realize, okay, God is pushing me toward better. That's why I left that whole Luciferian quasi-Satanist, because Luciferians and Satanists are not the same and they fight each other all the time. But I was almost a Satanist. And I realized that would not lead me to my highest happiness. That would not lead me to my joy. It was useful to me when I was in the pit, when I didn't want to live, when I was dying every day, where I hated my life. It helped to keep me alive. It helped to keep me going. But Satanism, Luciferianism, all that stuff didn't bring me to the highest levels of joy, the highest levels of peace. And so that's what this meeting of Joe Rogan and Wes Huff is about. And I'm really excited about it. Wes speaks for, Christianity in a way that the left-leaning, anti-Christ, anti-life, anti-humanity, woke left can't really fight him, because he's coming from scholarship. He's utilizing a certain perspective that is Christ-centered. And that's something that's really exciting. So to see him on Joe Rogan is super exciting. You guys make sure you watch it. Make sure you check it out. And yeah. excuse me. I think I'm gonna close this thing down. Two Duels, you're awesome. I'll probably make a video and then put you, like, I'll make a video and yeah, let's see. We'll pin your comment because your comment is awesome there. All right, excellent. And look, I'm learning stuff here, y'all. And then we're gonna do something about that, like the Kim Jong Un. I'm gonna talk about Hitler, Kim Jong Un, who are all the other bad guys of history, and how I have evidence that they are redeemed and that Christ's blood covers them, and that they're in heaven too. I mean, and again, I just feel that heaven is our home. Heaven is our home. Heaven is not like a place you work to get into. That's where you came from. That's the bosom of the Father, Abraham's bosom, as Jesus talked about in the New Testament. So I think that hell and heaven, in the sense of like what the Bible's talking about, you need to stay out of heaven or stay out of hell, stay to heaven. It's talking about suffering in this life. Like, I'm convinced that people like Kim Jong Un and those sorts of guys, people that do create a lot of suffering, are suffering a lot on the inside, and that's what they're experiencing hell here. When this life is done, I believe we all go to heaven. Now, is that a license to go out and hurt people and to do all kinds of drugs and have illicit sex? No, it's not. Okay, the life of the Christian, my understanding as a geopolitical Christian, is an elite life. It's a life of the best. It's living your highest life here and now. It's health, it's wealth, it's prosperity, it's beauty, it's love, it's great relationships, it's healthy marriages, it's healthy families. That's the Christian life. Not, oh, I'm broke, so let me go and judge gay people. Or, I've got, whatever problem is, oh, I hate my job, so let me go and judge people who are rich and tell them that it's harder for them to get into heaven than it is for a camel to go through an eye of a needle, right? A Christian life is connected to God, and God is not, like, God is about the power to live your life fully and not be afraid to look in the mirror, not be afraid to be yourself, to wake up every day with a song in your heart and a skip in your step. So that's the Christian life as I understand it. And there are a lot of people that disagree. That's fine. I mean, everyone's welcome to have their own opinions, but I'm looking at outcomes, and I ask myself, what are the outcomes that I want? And look at Wes Huff. He put the time in. I mean, you should check out his channel. Maybe I'll put a link in the description below. But check out his channel. He's been going for a while. And you see his videos from years ago were not getting the highest numbers of views. And then, last couple of years, he's really last year, he's kind of really supercharged. And then he had that Billy Carson thing, and he obliterated Billy and just went to the moon. So he's on Joe Rogan. It's really exciting. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Let's see here. Oh man, I'm getting used to using this software. All right. Okay. It's a little cloudy. I'm gonna try and get a. Oh god, this is so awesome, guys. This is new for me. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay, we're at 0 people, so I will close this down. But Two Duels, I'm gonna make a video for you, bro. You've been killing it, man, and I think you're awesome. I'll go ahead and make that video now. And yeah. I'll just go ahead and do that now. You're awesome. Take care, and I will put I think I'll just put at Two Duels in the title or something. All right. Y'all, thanks for watching. We're at, let's see here. I'm learning so much here. Total number of times stream was viewed while it was live. Okay. Cool. We're shutting it down. Y'all be blessed. Those of you who stayed, watched, and listened. Two Duels, you're awesome. All right. That's it.